permitted by the audience to begin with, and so I start with my topic of discussion today. Again, a very humble submission that I have tried to compile this work from various sources. If there's any error or gap, please excuse me. It's just my effort of putting the relevant things together for the young researchers. And I would also solicit some ideas and suggestions on this from my seniors present over here, the more experienced researchers. During the session, you can give your inputs or maybe towards the end. So to begin with, so broadly, I will be discussing on these points: a general guideline on paper writing, then major heads of a research paper and how to format it, citing, referencing, bibliography, what are they and how they are different, plagiarism and cheating, some citing and referencing technique, and creating a reference section using APA. So there are many styles, but I will focus on APA. And then some exercises and some virtual tour. So the learning objective of the session is to identify major component of paper writing using American Psychological Association APA style. Each style is very exhaustive, and given the time, I think it was not possible to cover every style. So I tried to focus on one, and hope if you're comfortable with one, you can take up others also if you wish to go for some other style, though the style depends on the journal that you have chosen. And how to apply APA style and formatting convention in the research paper. So to begin with, the first point of the session, that is general guideline on paper writing. These points will be very useful to the young researchers, and maybe a brushing for the senior people, this I can say. So to begin with, you read and follow all the guidelines for manuscript preparation. This has been continuously shared by all the resource person that we should go through. It is tedious, but we have to go through all the points, author's guideline which is given in a journal. Because every journal have their own formatting style guidelines and also how to present the body, text, image, table and references. So we can go through it. You should write as if you are doing a meaningful and important thing. Of course, it should be emphatic. The whole work throughout the tone, without arrogance, it should be emphatic. Use external peer review service. We are lucky that we have a few peer review services available now, like journalpep.com. We can get their services. You may have to pay for it, or you can always ask your colleagues, your friends to give you inputs before you actually send it for publication to the journal. I will share this slide so you can, like, if those who you want the exact address, web address, you can get it from this slide itself. So then critique your own work, of course, because when you're in a flow of writing, at times you may not be able to see, but once you're through, you can go through it. It's better that you check your own mistakes before it is highlighted by some other. Present your study as a finished piece of work. Though we do write suggestions, limitations, and future research, but the whole impact should be such that whatever objective you have chosen, that has been fulfilled. You have achieved that objective of doing the research. If you have a hypothesis, you should remain consistent. The same objective, hypothesis, and other topics should be in consistency. Long sentences should be avoided. Grammatically correct English, for that we will be discussing on Grammarly app that we have. Then short papers are likely to be read than long ones. I have seen papers, because we do also have a journal, paper long as like 50, 60, 70 pages. So it's so cumbersome to read them. and actually the reviewers lose their interest in the paper itself. So try to make it, it's very, very important, do have it. Usually maybe sometime at papers of economics and finance maybe, but otherwise try to keep it short. And of course we'll have to take the guidelines of the journal as well. If they have given a word limit, we should not exceed even a single word from that. Select a descriptive style. Puns are maybe appear to be attractive, but they are useless for research purpose. Your paper should advance a particular line of research. This is very important for the young researchers, that you are not expected to answer every question about the topic. Your contribution may be one liner, two liner, three liner, not more than that. So even if you contribute in the body of knowledge with 1, 2, 3 lines of your research output, I think that's pretty good. So that's great rather. So that should be your focus. Small contribution through exhaustive background hard work and research work. If you present your work at academic conference prior, then it will be good, because then you will get constructive criticism. You can review your own work. It's something that you get suggestion free of cost, and you get also the advantage of academic advantage of presenting the paper. So both the way you get advantage. If possible, you can present your work. The body of the paper should support the central idea. Central idea, or you can say research question, the objective. So everything should be in sync. At times, even I have seen papers which are incoherent. The points which are there in the beginning, rather even when I started writing, we had the same issue. But then the guides and the teachers and the colleagues were supportive enough. So we like how to begin with a single thought, elaborate that thought, and conclude with that thought. So that is the body should be around that central idea, or you can say research question or the objective of the research. Now, after giving some journal guidelines on paper writing, now we come to the journal selection. That how do we select a journal? As it has been quoted by Professor Shalini also, Parul Madam also, that the choice of journal should be made beforehand, even before we have started writing the paper itself. So you can always have a list of journals which are close to your research work. See, these are some important points that we can take care of. Look at the journal that have published article on your topic previously. This is an encouraging sign that your work, if they are having anything, maybe one or two variable on which the work has been published, then fairly good that maybe they are pro to those topics and those variables. So possibility of your getting selected or getting accepted is high. Then impact factor. This has been discussed by Rahul sir also that very day. You can see that is also important. Rejection and acceptance rate. Some journals, at least like BDC journals and good journals, do give this detail. So you can just see if it is too low, then of course the possibility of rejection can be high, unless you are a very refined researcher. To begin with, we can go for not so very difficult to approach journals. Average time of publication, how much time does it take? Usually it's a year, otherwise it can be 6 months. If any journal says that I will publish in a month, better don't go for it. There's no sense, there's some fishy thing behind it. This is important that some good journals do charge fee, especially for color figure reproduction for accepted manuscript, especially if you want that the color figure should be there in the published content, then some additional charges are there, and it's clearly stated on the website. You see those things, and if you have, they also ask, otherwise you can say, and you can pay the cost if required. So after journal guideline, we talked about journal selection. So once we have prepared with the journal guideline, we have selected a journal, then we come to submission of the manuscript of a paper, research paper. So we see that there are a number of journals available. So such a big list, whether you see ABTC or any source or scopus, multiple journals are available. You have to know that what are your area of interest, what journals are related to your topic, and maybe you select 2 to 3 journals with a focus similar to the content of your manuscript. While you are only going to be published in one, prepare multiple choice keeps you from having duplicate. In case if you're rejected, you have second, like plan A, plan B. So you have, if in case you're uh, rejected for one, you can send it to the other. So this is how you, at least 3 journals, 2 to 3 journals should be in your hand. So you can quickly, without wasting time, in a folder you can keep all these things. Then some more points on manuscript submission. Go over your manuscript to ensure that it's formatted according to submission guideline. Of course, there can be no choice but to follow the guideline given by the journal. Pay attention to references, bibliography, text formatting, citation style. We shall be elaborating on this in the later part of the session today. Get a professionally edited cover letter. Keep the details of the editor and other people handy and ready with you. And in case if there's a change in editor, please be updated. And likewise, you can communicate. Possibly write the full name of the editor to whom you're communicating. So if you're through with your work, you can submit physically or electronically, depending on the submission guideline. Present time, almost all the journals accept electronic submission. So whatever be the submission guideline, accordingly it is to be submitted. There are some points to be taken care. Do not submit your article to more than one journal at a time. This is ethical. Never do it. If it is rejected, there is always scope for another journal. This next point is very important. When uploading text, table, image file electronically, many submission systems will dynamically assemble your file into a single PDF document for easier handling. Be sure to review your PDF after it is generated to ensure that it looks correct. At times there may be like merging in a wrong steps, or maybe the tables coming earlier and the text coming later. So please take care. So what you can, it's very simple, you have to just check. If not, then you may ask for change, deleting and uploading it once again. So review your PDF after it is generated to ensure that it looks correct. Respect the word length. As I said, not even a single word should be more than. Why? We are authors, we are writers, we can always write our desired content in limited words, whatever. And if it's usually 4,000, 5,000 or 6,000 is the word limit, and I think it's pretty enough. So don't take any risk of rejection by just increasing a few words of your paper. If the journal allows you to suggest reviews of your manuscript, do so. Suppose if you there is a suggestion for the review, do it. This can work for your advantage. Suggest reviewers who know your field well and who might be interested in the results. So there are journals who ask you to give the name and the contact details of the reviewers. So you can definitely give, and it's better that you take the consent of the reviewers also before you give their name as reviewer for the journal. So that can be done. If you definitely do not want your paper reviewed by a specific individual, this is a catch. This should be taken care of. If you want that this person should not see my paper, then see that if that person is not in the review board, or maybe his work has not been published there. So that is how you can keep yourself safe and may not be sending your paper to that very journal. Of course, the mission statement of the journal becomes very important. It should be in sync, your work should be in sync with why the journal is existing. Mission talks about it, why they are publishing the work, why they are into this very business. So we have to be in sync with the mission statement. If the paper is highly theoretical and the journal clearly states that it does not publish theoretical work, find in your journal. So don't take risk of getting response from them and then sending it somewhere. There are so many journals available which may be suiting to your requirements, the topic that you have chosen or the methodology that you have chosen. So it's better that you go for them. Selecting a journal is a time-taking work. You can easily give some time specifically for selecting a journal. And as always said, that the exact research work should take lesser time, but the preparation, the planning should take more. Same way, the time of sending and the research paper to a journal should take less time rather than time in selecting the journals and going through the details of the journal. So, as always said in management, planning should take more time than the execution. Execution will take less time and quickly if the planning is good. So, you have decided the journal, you have submitted your paper, and now what to do post submission. When you get initial peer reviews, consider them carefully. In your resubmission cover letter, respond to each point made by the reviewer. Usually point wise, the reviewers give their comments. So you can give response point wise, highlight the points you followed and the ones you did not, indicate why. Maybe you are ready to make change, add on or correction few you think that they are relevant and you stick to them. So you should always give a reason why you haven't changed, and that should be done point wise. When you are asked to perform additional studies, do them quickly and resubmit. Do not respond to reviewers' comment in an argumentative tone. Academics is not meant for fighting. So your tone can always be soft and logical. Logic everyone understands. So the tone should not be argumentative. You are always free to disagree, but sure that you have hard evidence to support your claims. There should be evidence, there should be a strong point, a logic. Okay, then we come to other points post submission. If accepted, be sure to carefully check page, proof, and do so quickly. So if everything is okay, maybe post submission also, after some review comments you have already made, and then you can quickly check the proofs of the pages and finally give your consent as quickly as possible in a day or so. That's an achievement if you get that you have to respond and your paper has been accepted, and it should be celebrated by quickly responding. In responding to reviewers' comment, it is a good idea to copy and paste the reviewers' comment verbatim in one color and add your response in the other color. That is, you are making the reviewers' work easy, what they have said and what you have to say. They should be in different colors, so that reviewer knows that you have taken care of this point and this is your response. You should also copy and paste any relevant section from your revised manuscript into your cover letter. Ideally, a reviewer should be able to tell how adequately you have addressed the comment without having to read your revised manuscript. Maybe if there are 10 points on which the reviewer has given comment, so just pick up those 10 points and the text which is there in and how you have corrected. So everything should be there. In the letter should itself be complete enough for the reviewer. He or she may not go back to your manuscript which has been previously submitted. So it's just you're trying to make the things easy for the reviewer and in turn for your own self. So these were some points regarding the general guideline of paper, and I think I have to rush now quickly with the major heads. The heads of research paper have been discussed by other professors also, and I am giving you a general guideline, general outline. These may vary again from journal to journal, from say publisher to publisher. So these are some of the points which are commonly found in a research paper, that is titled, abstract, introduction, literature review, research method or methodology, results, discussion, conclusion, implications, limitations and further research, references, appendix. I will elaborate on these points, and later on we will go through APA guidelines, how these things have to be formatted as per APA guidelines. The title page, title of the paper, author's name, institution name, and maybe some notes if required. We will see how it is done in APA guideline. Then come to abstract. Most of the time you see the abstract is only initially required for conferences or otherwise. So abstract should be very well written. Limit the amount of background information. Usually we have 200 to 250 words. Yes, again, depending on the journal requirement for the abstract. Usually 200 to 250 words, you have to give a summary of your work in abstract. Never give figures and tables in your abstract. Use past tense because the work has been done. Only one exception is if you're mentioning future direction in your concluding statement. Towards the end, if you're writing future direction, there you can use a future tense, else everything should be in the past tense in the abstract. It should be concise, clear. It should include rationale, method, and everything is precisely, even the rationale is precisely written, the method used to study, and other relevant things that you find should be there, which are related to the research should be there, should be compiled in the abstract. Many researchers will only read the abstract. Okay, so be sure of the journal guidelines for the abstract length. Many journals will not accept abstract. Though we say about abstract, but there may be some journals which do not require abstract altogether. So this can also be a case that you start with the introduction part of your after title, then introduction. So usually a comprehensive introduction is there in usually all the papers. I think you by now, all of you, even the young researchers, must have read a number of research papers or at least few research papers. So introduction is there. You may find a heady introduction, or otherwise also it will begin with a general discussion on the topic and then coming to the specific one towards the end of the introduction. So that is the beginning. The introduction again uses past tense. Avoid acronyms. Don't confuse the readers. Make it very simple, as simple as possible. There are some papers in which the literature review is part of introduction itself, and in some papers the literature review has a separate heading. So it depends whether you want it as an independent separate heading or part of the introduction itself. Then we also write in the introduction. Of course, while we are writing introduction, something about the literature, some work done in past can always be quoted, or rather it is quoted. The problem and the purpose of the research work is also given in the introduction part. Long paragraph becomes cumbersome, so we should avoid long paragraphs. And do not be afraid of using headings in the introduction. That is, you can have different heads in the introduction itself. I'm just asking if the background disturbance is coming, then I may use earphone. Otherwise, there was a little, but now it is not. Okay. So we can of course have some headings also in the introduction part. If the introduction is long, then it's suggested that you have headings. APA style gives you scope of using headings. Then a literature review. This has been very well elaborated by Dr. Parul. So need not to say much, just a quick review. Literature review is a search and evaluation of the available literature in a given subject or in chosen topic or area. So, and it demonstrates your familiarity with the body of knowledge and establish a credibility of your work, summarizes prior research and integrates and summarizes what is known about a subject, demonstrate how you have learned from others and that your research is a starting point for a new idea. That is, the research gap is also identified in the literature review, and then you can go ahead with your own work. So this is how, and putting your LR metrics are some of the ways. Parul ma'am also already discussed that how you can also put it in paragraphs, whatever way you decide or your journal suggests you to do. Then comes the research method. This is also called research methodology, or at times with methodology you will find in the research paper. Do not over-explain scientific procedure. Even if it is very unique, your technique that you're using very unique, then only you can elaborate. Otherwise, if you're using an exploratory method, what is exploratory method need not to say. If you're using a case method, what is case method, and elaborating, not because it's a commonly used method now. So usually the heads which we see in research methodology or methodology are like procedure, research design, sampling, research tools, maybe whether you have developed your own tool, some standard tools you are using, so elaborating on those tools, scoring methods, depending upon the type of research that you are doing. So all these things are there, maybe statistical methods, you can give a brief about it also that you use it. So these are the heads of research method. Then we move to the next, that is results. After elaborate study, you finally come with some results. So the results, usually the results section, when you are doing a quantitative study, even for qualitative, we can have some tables and charts also. So they should be so well presented that they can speak about themselves, like heading, the access code should be properly labeled, numbering should be there, the result section should contain only results, no discussion, this is a catch. Don't elaborate, be specific, only talk about what has actually come out of your study, your research. Do not repeat in words everything that your tables and graphs convey. Point out key findings and offer some text that complements the finding. Of course, you can say something which complements the finding. Be sure your figures and tables follow the journal guideline. Of course, numbering and labeling is there, and then maybe this specific guideline that we will discuss also later that you can follow. Do not overload graphs with data. Make sure access descriptions are not too small. At times, the font size is so small that it's difficult to see. Okay, then we move to the next discussion. Just want to see in between that if there's any see anything on chat. No, nothing on chat. So we move further to discussion part. So by now we have discussed about the title part, the abstract, introduction, your literature review, methodology, then we are this results, then finally we are on the discussion section of the research paper. So the discussion section should answer why you obtained the observed results. We have just presented what the results were, and now we are talking about why these results. Your research, the logic of a researcher comes now, and that has to be the contribution of researcher is more in answering this question, and how they answer that becomes the contribution. So if multiple explanation for your result exists, be sure to address each one. You can favor one explanation, but be sure to mention alternative explanation if some exist. If you don't, the reviewers will. You can also present the other side. If your research findings are suggestive or supportive rather than decisive, then make sure to indicate. So your research finding can be suggestive or supportive to already existing, or it may be something different. Do indicate. Of course, discussion doesn't mean that it has to go pages and pages. It has to be still concise and informative. And in discussion, you can also again quote the work of others to support your results, or maybe if the other aspect, that alternative explanation can also be given. Maybe you say this, someone other researcher also supports, but there may be contradictory findings also. So we are coming to the next slide. So results and discussions, and finally we conclude. The importance of conclusion section cannot be overlooked. It includes a brief statement of other parts of the research paper, such as methodology, data analysis, results, and concludes the overall discussion. Conclusion is not only talking about the results, it talks about everything that you have done till now on research, including your methodology and your results and analysis. So, but it has to be concise. The result section is usually, if you have a lot of tables, it can be long. The discussion is also long. The conclusion should be, maybe if the 5,000 words is the limit, then the conclusion should not be more than, say, 300 to 400 words. Again, you can refer the journal guideline. Implication and contribution. What is the implication or the contribution of research? This actually gives a good feel to the researcher also when they are writing this, that their work has contributed to the field. So writing, how to write this implication contribution, you can refer some of the good papers, how they have written that their contribution, and just think a little more. And I think relating with various other fields, multidisciplinary approach again helps in writing the implication and contribution. Feel free to explain why your result falsify current theories. If that is the case, you can completely falsify. You can say whatever you found and others was different, and this is what your work is. Never overstate the importance of your research finding. It may be good work, but then don't estimate and overstate. Secondly, most important, clearly point to the true significance. True significance should be highlighted and should be stated. Then every research work has the limitation and scope for further research. So you can write the limitation of your work in terms of methodology, sample size, lack of previous studies, open discussion. Again, this is also briefly written. Then I think almost every research has its limitation, and therefore we give scope for further research. Then we finally come to the reference section. All references used as the source of information in your research paper should be mentioned to strengthen your paper and also avoid your work being considered as plagiarized. So, all the sources that you have used for doing your research in the literature review, that everything that whom you have referred, or maybe other throughout the text, in text citations that we say, that should be reflected in your reference section. Everyone should be given due credit. Failure to include even obscure reference to a topic will not prevent publication. What will prevent publication is procrastination by insisting on including such references. So we need to put all the points together there, all the text citation in the reference section. Bibliographic software such as EndNote and reference work can be used. They are very useful. I will give you just brief on it. EndNote is just one I have referred. EndNote Online is offered for free by Penn State and is a online service that allows you to store, share, and organize your citations so that you can access them from any computer. By installing the Microsoft Word plugin, you can cite references from your library and automatically create your bibliography as you write. So if you use any of these softwares, you can whatever work that you are putting in your paper will automatically get in your reference section. So okay, so though this has been discussed, but once again I put it in text citation and references. When we are writing in flow, maybe introduction or maybe literature review or any part, then we keep on referring some or the other researcher or author. So that is in text citation. And all author's name or other details that we mentioned in the running text, that name should also be there towards the end when we are writing references. So references refer to the sources listed within the reference list. And the reference list is actually talking about the in-text citation. These are some of the standard ways of referencing. Again, Dr. Rahul Gohel has also referred about these citation and referencing method, like American Medical Association, AMA, APA, Chicago, MLA, and many more. So I will just give you one or two examples, but I will move to APA because knowing one method in this precise time is more important. So just see, according to those, citation can be hard to create. And the other way, if you're writing in parentheses, you are saying first way is parentheses. Citation could be hard for students. She stated citation could be hard for students. So each in-text citations connect to the source citation in your reference. Reference will be found at the end of the work. Okay, so you can put it these two ways. This is again MLA. Please don't get confused. I actually gave in one example, but I wanted only to focus on APA. Otherwise, it will be confusing. I'm talking about the young researchers, seniors are aware of all this. Example of APA in text citation. According to Doe, citation can be hard to create. Here we are along because we have already given author's name. So we are in bracket. We are only talking about the year and the page number. And here, because we have not written author's name, so here citation could be hard for student. Author's name, the second name or surname, comma, year, comma, page number. This is APA in text citation when you are putting the name of the author in the running text. But when you put these citations in the reference section, how it comes. Surname, first name, year, just focus on APA. Then book, then publisher. Okay, one more concept we need to discuss, that is plagiarism and cheating. There's a difference between these two. Let's quickly just go through this exact meaning. Plagiarism is the representation of another author's language, thought, ideas, or expression as one's own original work. In educational texts, there are differing definitions of plagiarism depending on the institution. What they think is plagiarism may differ. But the simple thought is that you are presenting someone else's work as yours. How cheating and plagiarism are different? Cheating is a deliberate attempt to mislead, but plagiarism may or may not have an evil intent. You just do it out of mistake, out of ignorance. So that is plagiarism. And as a researcher, we have to be careful that we are not doing so. Cheating, of course, I know that will never be an intention, but plagiarism can be, and for that we can be careful. Okay, the reason is academic integrity, to make sure that your learning is complete and to keep up with the standards of your institution. So these are the reasons, and yes, to give recognition to the work of people who have already done. We should always honor our lineage of academicians. So these are the reason for the referencing, putting a proper reference section and avoiding plagiarism. These are some of the softwares where we can check the plagiarism. Turnitin is an expensive, it's a paid, but these three, there are many others, I've just given three. These three software. And we can, I think, because it is going monologue and it's continuously for around 45 minutes, let's have just a quick say exercise on plagiarism checker. So let me stop sharing and do some activity. Okay, I have taken I'll just share this. What I have done is I have copied some text from, let me share the whole screen and then I think it will be better. So what I am doing is that I have picked up some information and data from my brochure itself. And from that brochure I have copied, because there's a word limit. These free softwares have a word limit. So what we can do is we can go for plagiarism check in parts. If your company, if your organization has given you access to Turnitin, what can be better? If not, then also you need not to worry, you have free SSS. See, I have copied something which is around, we will check how many words there. I have copied some part of it, and then I am going to plagiarism checker. Share. Screen. Checker, where is it? Has to be open, I suppose, then only it will come. now it is open, and now I will just display for you. Somehow, yeah, it is here now. So I think it is visible now. So what we have done, we have copied the text and from the brochure, and I'm just putting it here. And okay, so how many words? It has a word limit of 700. See, as I have put it over here, it's quickly showing the red lines means the grammatical errors. Okay, not robot and plagiarism check. So you can see that it is working, it is checking. What happened? It's not taking, or it's coming. The results are not coming. Okay, maybe I have to try once again. So I have pasted the text. It's going on. It's going on. Maybe the word limit is a little more. Bus. I think this is bus. Okay, verify. It works fairly good. Otherwise, I have just checked in the morning and it was working. You can try it at your end. That's not an issue. But the only point that we have to take care of is that the word limit should not exceed. If the word limit is more, say if they have a limit of 800 and if it is 805 words, it's not going to check. So that's the only thing that we need to do. It is not. Either I'm not able to identify the bus or what. I think this is the bus. To the best of my knowledge, this is bus. And I am not a robot. Cannot. Okay. I don't know why it is not supporting when I am with the audience. It was very much supportive in the morning. We keep on trying with these things also. Okay, I delete some content and then try to check. Happened, Mr. Plagiarism checker? Why are you not supporting me? You want a break or what? Okay, so I think without wasting much of my time and your time, rather your time, I should go to the next. I just wanted to demonstrate that these small softwares, free softwares can also be very useful for the young researchers. So that was my agenda, because number of organization may not be purchasing Turnitin, which is an expensive one. So there we can use these softwares. Once again, I will try to have a check and let me see if it works. Fairly good. Else you try your luck on these. These very conveniently work. Only the point is the word limit. Otherwise, not an issue. I don't know why it is not. Now it's not working. I will further go to the other part of the session rather than just sticking to it. Okay, now I stop sharing my screen and you all can try on your own also. Does these softwares have part show particular? Actually, I wanted to show this only. That how the results, the output comes. In the morning when I applied this part on the software, 86% it was coming original. The other part, that is only 14%. You can try it, that's very simple. And then we come to the next very important part, that is grammar and spelling. And as suggested by other authors also, professors also, Grammarly is a good one. It's a free app and you can always add on with this. So from grammar and spelling to style and tone, Grammarly helps you eliminate the writing errors and find a perfect word to express yourself. So that you can do the, I have already quoted the web link. Now, American Psychological Association, APA, is a very standard way of, especially me from a psychology background, and say we have been following APA style, so I am very comfortable with it, and it's also very known and in the field of social science. So in 2020 they have given the 7th edition. Earlier we were running with the 6th edition, and that was also very popular. Some minor changes are there in the 7th edition. So most of those journals which use APA style, they are either accepting a 6th or the 7th edition style. So reference in the APA includes the author, title of the book, title of the journal, name of the conference, if any, place of publication date, URL, date assessed. Now this I think we have discussed, so I will not repeat much on it. So these are again some of the in-text citations by the APA if we follow the APA style. According to Luban's 2001, because we have added the year here in the beginning, so we are only writing the page number towards the end. But when we are writing like this within inverted commas, then the name of author, surname of the author will come at the end along with the year as well as page number. Two author, when there are two authors, how it is to be written, this is all technical. We have to take care one by one on each reference that we are doing and how it is done. For two author, there is like slight difference. If the citation is part of a single phrase, outside the parenthesis, separate the two names with full word and, but if you see here, when you are writing it at the end, then the and will come like this, ampersand, I, aapka, so these are small things. Here you are writing Oshiman in Hugh 2007 bracket and then page number 12, and here you are writing like this. So some minor changes are there, but we have to be careful about it. 3 or more authors, till 21 authors. Now there's a provision. In 21 authors, 19 are written and then 3 dots, and then 21st author is name is written. And here in APA style we see throughout the surname is first. When there is more than 2 authors, then et al is used. First time full all the name of the authors with surname and is written, and then later on et al. Can be used. So these are small guidelines of referencing as per APA style. Group author, again, different way. We will go to the APA website to know more about it. So for books, it is this. I would like to go on a virtual tour with you on the APA websites to understand and familiarize. These are some of the videos which I have found very useful for referencing. You can see these videos anytime and maybe at the evening hours or the late night, wherever you're free. So I will be sharing these links with you, and then you can go through in details with the referencing, APA style of referencing with these videos, how to reduce plagiarism. Now I go for a virtual tour to this, but before we move to this, the website, the APA style website, let's see what we are going to take up in this website. Again, there seems to be some processing. Hope Jugalji, you are not.
Yes,
I'm just saying that you are there to help me out, because again it seems to be some issue. Okay. So what we are going to do in this virtual tour, what we are going to explore, this is the home page of APA style. So here we see, now I will rush because I will not take time in any case more than 5:30. So referencing examples are given. This is the home page. So paper formats are there, in-text citation guidelines are there, page title page setup. So and then some sample papers are also there. So we can get into the details of this. We will just explore. Then paper format, especially this is very relevant if we are following the APA style for paper formatting. So, and the details of all the relevant content, like order of the page, line spacing, page title, font, header, like the line spacing should be margin should be one on all the sides. If binding is there, so left side there can be 1.5. Otherwise, these are the order of pages, title, abstract, text, references, footnotes, table, figure, appendix. Okay, now title page setup. There are two ways by which title page can be set up for students and for the professional version. This is the professional version, or the professional title page. Running ahead, page number is here, then the page title, author, affiliation. We will go to the website to see as it is. This also affiliation, then author notes are given as it is to be written in an APA style. Title, author name, affiliation, and end notes like maybe contact information and other things. So these are again details that how a title page, see a simple thing, a title page, there are guidelines on making a title page itself, which is elaborated on these heads. Then these are sample papers. This is very useful, especially to the young researchers, as I say. So you can go through these qualitative, quantitative, mixed method, literature review, professional paper template. Then we come to sample paper from the publication manual. So a noted professional sample paper we will be elaborating on. This is as it is from APA website. So here we will be taking up. Okay. So this we will be discussing in detail when we will be on a virtual tour. But before that, let me share with you, there are various ways of putting the references, various sources which can have a specific format of referencing, from textual work to even videos and conferences and so many things that we will explore. So this was my main reference. There are many, and this is the standard way of referencing a website as per the APA. So I've given you this just to know that how a web page, a website can be put as a reference in APA style. Now I will stop sharing this and I will go to the website itself. Okay. So now I hope the screen is visible now. I hope the screen is visible.
शेयर टूल इन सबको सेलेक्ट करें शेयर टूल लें और आसानी के साथ आप सारे के सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स को एक साथ स्नैप कर सकते हैं
Okay.
ज्यादा डिटेल्स नहीं
I
है
will share. I will share immediately.
मैं क्लास को छोटा रखना चाह रहा हूं आज
Okay, I will share the link immediately on the chat. I hope Jugalji, I can copy paste in the chat, and then at the same time we can. So it is in the chat. Now I again move to. Is the APA website visible? Just let me know if the website is visible. Yes ma'am. Okay, thank you. Okay. So now we are on the home page. This is what I showed you earlier: a reference example, paper format, in-text citation, a title page setup. These are there. You can explore on any of these depending on your internet connection is unstable. Paper. See here, this is what I showed you in the screenshot, that order of pages, title setup, margins. See, to begin with title setup, if we go student page title, these are guidelines, and here is for professional title page. Like a research paper is a professional content, and the title should be, the title page of the research paper should be like this: page number, page title, author, affiliation, author's note, and the detailing is also given later on. Place the title 3 to 4 lines down the top of the title page. Center it and type it in a bold font. Capitalize major words of the title. Place the main title and the subtitle on a separate double-spaced line. If desired, there is no maximum length for titles. However, keep the title focused and include the key terms. So it's not only that they have given the format, they have also given you the elaboration so that you can do your work likewise. So other details like author's affiliation. While you are writing the name, you are also superscripting the number, and which can be elaborated later on author's affiliation. See, include both the name of any department and name of the college, university, or other institution, separated by a comma. Center the affiliation on the next double space line after the author's name. When there are multiple affiliations, center each affiliation on its own line. So this is the elaboration that. So examples are there, elaboration is there. So this was on title page, which the screenshot which I have already shared it. Now again we go back. So we start with the title, then we can go to ordering of the page. Ordering of the page each point will be elaborated here about abstract, text, referencing, figures. Okay, let me show you one very important point, one very important thing which will be very useful, and that is referencing examples. फिर कुछ चला गया. There's some problem once again. Again there was some problem and now I think it's back. Okay, so these are the various sources, especially to
your video is
freezed. Jugal ji, be kind on me and try to make it unfreezed. I don't know, on my part I don't know. I'm able to see the movement. Okay. Am I audible? To me, the screen is a little blank, so I cannot be. Can't see you, ma'am. Till then, please answer the queries. Yes, madam. Yes. If I can be of any help, please let me know. I see myself mobile on video movement. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It seems there was some problem with my system itself, and I have taken help of Google G system. There's very few number of people left now. The summary is this, that this website itself can help you a lot. Scroll the different sections of the website. Okay, it's fine now. Thank you, Vivek ji. So now I will simply close up with this, saying this, that you can go through those sample papers for formatting, editing the various section of the paper that you are writing. And I think it's better that before you try with many other formats of citing and referencing, be comfortable with one before you start experimenting with other formats also. So I close today's session, and I will definitely take 5-10 minutes tomorrow with you all, because again there may or may not be, I don't know, issues tomorrow. I hope that things will be better. I have already shared website. You please go through it. Swati was saying there is some query. Okay, we can join. We can. I think without information we cannot. I will take some stay. I think another 10 minutes I need. I can ask Milind sir to give some time, and in that time I will quickly complete up the part that I wanted to share. And for today I will wind up here only, rather than increasing more of chaos, and the number of interest is also losing because of the disturbance. Whatever I have to share, which is left on my part, I will share for 10 minutes in the session from 3 to 4. So with this, I thank all of you. In the meantime, do go through the APA style.com website, which I have shared on the link, the chat. I will share this in the WhatsApp group also, and I will also share the videos today that I have showed in the PPT. So in the meantime, you can go through, and tomorrow we can again discuss more. And also, if there are any queries, I will be very happy to share and discuss on those queries. Thank you very much. Thank you for bearing so much with us, my so very dedicated participants. Thank you. PPT of day 1 and day 2 would also. Actually, we are working on PPT. Some of the faculty members have given. We are trying to compile, and we will definitely share of all the faculty members who have shared with us. Definitely we will share. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. So meet you tomorrow at 3. In the meantime, I request all of you to complete your assignments. Thank you.